Hello, welcome to this training video for you new BNTouch users. We appreciate your business and thank you for joining me today. Let me show you how to quickly get through your BNTouch setup wizard. What you find when you first log in, of course, is what you see on my screen now. So this is a, sorry about that, my throat's scratchy. This is a 7-step setup. And basically what you're going to want to do is go through these in the right order so that you complete your setup, and then you'll be ready to rock with your new BNTouch account. So let's get started. First of all, it's asking you to upload your photo and logo. So make sure that you have a photo of yourself that would be in JPEG format, company logo also. And here we go. The first screen that it takes you to is your personal information screen. Make sure that, of course, all of your personal information is entered correctly, including your NMLS ID number, fax number, phone number, everything that you may want to have show up in your personal information when you do your marketing. Now, if your company's a DBA, then you can go ahead and enter information into these boxes. Basically, what it is if you come here to the company information area and you see that anything is different than what you find here, then you're probably going to want to use that company DBA area. Or if you are a company with a name other than what is in the upper left-hand corner, then of course go ahead and enter that information in the DBA area. And also, if you want to get your daily digest or have your alerts and reminders, go to a different email address than the one here and go ahead and enter that down in these boxes. But that's only if you want it to go to a different email address. All right, so once that's all entered in and you've updated that area, you can go to this section where you're going to upload your own personal photo and logo. So it's pretty simple. Just go find it wherever it is on your computer. I've put it on my desktop just to make it easy to find. And let's see, where am I? Here I am. Let me upload my picture. And I'm going to go ahead and browse for my company logo. Same thing, I've got it here on my desktop. Where is my logo? Whoops, I think I passed it. Here it is. Upload that. Now once you've put them in like this, go ahead and finish the process by uploading the images and taking a look at them. Again, if you've used a JPEG file, it should look good here. Company information we already looked at. Personal signature, what this is it's a block of meta tags. Basically, the meta tags are coming from over here. You'll see that the meta tags are beside each area where your name and your title and such are. So if the meta tags are included in the signature block and it has everything that you wish for it to have, in this case I've changed mine to say cell phone instead of company phone, so recognize that it is going to pull the information from over here. So make any changes you want. If you wish to add a tagline, you can enter your tagline information here. And then once you save it, of course, this is what's going to show also on your signature line or in the signature area of the marketing pieces. So anything you want to put there, you can put. Now, if you rather use information such as just your name and, type it all in instead of using meta tags, that's fine too. Anyway, make sure that you finish this off by updating the signatures, and that will complete step 1. Step 2 is taking you to a place where you'll get opportunities to see different default templates, we call them. And these templates, if you'll notice as you scroll down, there's many of them with different colored fonts, different colored backgrounds, some with less colors. So it's whatever you choose that you want to have as your backdrop, if you will, for your marketing pieces. Just click on the Select Template button and you see that it says it's highlighted. Scroll back down and you can see that that's the one that you've chosen for your default. Now don't make a co-branded template, one with 2 people in it, be your default. But if you ever want to add that to your templates library, just click on the Import to Templates. You may want to do co-branded marketing at a later time. So there you have some options. All right, that's all you need to do for step 2. Notice that we have 2 check marks. Step 3 is talking about setting up your mailbox preferences. Now you can use the BNTouch default if you wish, which is this Mailgun. And we've given you a login and a password for using Mailgun if you wish. If you want to, you can change it to your own company outgoing SMTP. So simply just change the information here. Maybe perhaps you might need to change the port number. You might need to change this. And probably you don't need to change this, but maybe take that check mark out. And then, just make sure that the login and password for your own email is correct. Go ahead and save your changes. Come back here and check the connection. If it tells you that it's successful, you're in good shape because it needs to be successful. If it says it has errors, of course, just go back and recheck the information that you have put in before. All right, so using your own server might increase the probability of anything that's showing up as spam or bulk in the incoming client's email. So if you have an issue with using the BNTouch mailgun.org server, you can use your own company outgoing SMTP or perhaps a third party. So we've got that completed. Customizing your newsletter. We give you the opportunity to every month come in, click on the link, which will show you your newsletter for that month. If you click on it, it'll show, complete wide what is the newsletter, and you can review it, read it, see if you like it. Make sure that your newsletter is going to be on the default newsletter template. If it's on a template other than this blue background, it might not have placements of every bit that's pre-written in the newsletter correct for you. So just make sure you're using the right template, or if you're using another template, just realize that some things might not show up. So you can remove certain sections of the newsletter if you wish. Perhaps you found that you don't really care for the finances section and you want to take that out. You can do that. Now any of these sections can actually be moved to where that section now appears at the top. So if you wanted to use a custom section, you see down here it's blank, then what you do is you come here to the custom text and name, and you can build a custom section in your newsletter if you wish to do that. And notice you've got an editor here, like you'll have when you do all of your marketing. If you want to edit and maybe bold or italicize or change the font, you can insert a file, insert a YouTube video, or you can use our meta tags list. Meta tags are shown throughout marketing pieces to personalize, like what you saw in the #1 step. You can personalize pretty much any field that's in your BNTouch. You can get, borrower first name, you can do partner first name, subject property, so much that you can personalize with meta tags. So anyway, that's what that's talking about. So your newsletter is a monthly publication, and it is one of the campaigns that you can utilize in BNTouch. Okay, let's go back now to our dashboard. We're getting through this, folks. So let's go now and set up contact groups. Basically, when you click on there, you'll find that I already have some groups built. So for the first time when you log in, you may only have a default group, and that's okay. If you don't build any groups whatsoever, every record is going to fall into a default group. Now, within your Mortgages tab and your Partnerships tab, you have what we call marketing sequences. All of your records are going to go under a marketing sequence, but sometimes you want to market further to a specified audience or a group of people. So say, for instance, I wanted to send an email blast or start a campaign just for my first-time home buyers. So I've built a group of first-time home buyers, some realtors, some FHA, and maybe even my old database if I just wanted to, perhaps have a special type of marketing to go out to any one of these. Then I built groups. If you want to build a new group, just come in, type in the new area, new group, name here, and then you can do the same. You can copy and paste it over to the other side, or you can describe it differently, whatever suits you, and then click your Update Groups. And when you come here now, it's giving you the option, is this a private group, yes or no? Well, if you're the only person to have a CRM within your company, private yes or no really doesn't make any difference because there's nobody else that can see it. But say you are setting up your BNTouch account and you're going to have other users within your BNTouch account for your company. So those other users would be able to see this group and use the group for their own records if you have it private no. If you have it private yes, then that means that they can't even see that group. They can't even use it. And then over here, make sure that you select whether it's a group for clients or if it's a group for partners. Could be a group for all. If you maybe named this a particular realtor's name and you wanted everybody that the realtor had referred to you to go into that group, then of course it could be group for all. So I'm just going to update my groups, go back to the dashboard, and we're ready for number 6. Now I want to say we do have these in order for a reason, so make sure you do number 6 before you do number 7, okay? And in that way, when you update or import contacts into BNTouch, then basically those contacts are going to be started on any of the marketing campaigns that you have triggers set for. Okay, I will further explain that too. So for right now, let's go ahead and go to setting up our marketing. It's going to give us 2 options here. If you want the default setup, 99.9% I think of all of our clients that I've been working with decide that they do want the default setup. And of course, what that means is that gives you campaigns that are pre-written, that are already set up with automated rules on them, that you don't have to build yourself, that you don't have to write yourself. So it's going to save you a lot of time. There's 28 of them. If you want to customize and you're a person who's really creative, that's great too. That means that you can pick your own campaigns. You can write them. You can also go to our content exchange, which is like a public library, and find the campaigns that you choose to use. Now when you do that, you have to set up the automated rules for them also. So by choosing the default setup, and I'm going to go ahead and do that today, it gives you those campaigns, but it allows you to edit them. So don't think that, hey, if I choose the default, I'm stuck. I have to say what they say when I send these out. And that's not true. You can edit those. You can also change the triggers, which are the automated rules. So we're going to turn our safe mode off, or on. Let's keep it on. Turn it on. And now, when safe mode is on, when you go to step 7 and you start importing your records, what's going to happen with the system, because if you have automated rules for the campaigns, it's going to want to start those records or those clients, partners, onto the campaigns that you've already set up. You're not going to be ready to start sending out marketing yet. So you're going to keep your safe mode on for now. It's going to trigger the campaigns to start for those records, but it's going to hold the emails from going out. So it's a safe mode. You're going to use safe mode anytime you're importing data, anytime you're building or triggering campaigns, just to make sure, as a safety net, that nothing's going to send out to the wrong people. So for now, while you're learning your BNTouch, keep your safe mode on. Okay? So we're going to go back to the dashboard, and we have one more step, and that's to import our contacts. Okay? So when we click on number 7, brings us here. You can take a look at a video first if you want to, but the video is going to show you everything that I'm going to show you now. So notice over here in this upper left-hand corner, we've got some detail or data for you on how to export from Calyx Point, if you wish, or from your ACT database. You can take your information out of Encompass if you are an Encompass user. So otherwise, if you're going to utilize those features, you're going to want to use the Point report file or the Encompass report file, which is actually a pre-built spreadsheet for you that when you do the export really works great. So you can utilize that. Once you have your spreadsheet, you can actually import it then into BNTouch, provided that you've saved it as a CSV. So the format of your spreadsheet has to be .csv. Also make sure to note, I'm going to show you up here, we have 2 tabs. We have database for your mortgage clients and a database for your partnerships. They're totally separated. So when you come in here to start your import, you're going to choose whether it's going to go to the partners database or to the mortgages database. So make sure you at least have your spreadsheet separated with those types of records, okay? You don't want to put partners into mortgages because you can't make a change at that point. You'll have to just take it back out and re-import it. So we're going to go ahead and put this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you into our mortgages database. And if you had saved a import map previously, you could find that map here. We don't have a saved map, so we're not going to worry about that. We're a new user, so why would we have a saved map, right? So we're going to go ahead and put this into my account being the person who wants that data into their CRM. If you are an administrator or a marketing account and you have several users for BNTouch, you're going to be able to import for them, and so you'll have a drop down that'll say different people's names, and of course that would be the records for their account. So I'm going to browse I'm going to find my spreadsheet. Where are we? Here it is. And click open. And proceed to step 2, okay? Now this is the part that's a lot of fun. So if you have a spreadsheet that has way too many columns, you're going to be spending way too much time trying to import into the correct fields. So I caution you here, just make sure that you're only putting data that's really pertinent to having in the CRM, quick access or something, that you really do need to save, obviously. We have fields for pretty much anything, but you could take 4 hours in importing and mapping correctly. So we're going to go ahead and put borrower first name. Whoops. See, if you do it wrong, then you got to make sure you correct that. So borrower first name, borrower last name. So I'm just taking a look at my column headers, which were from my spreadsheet, and I'm matching it over to what is correct on the BNTouch field side. So borrower last name, co-borrower last name, borrower email, co-borrower email, email co-borrower, street address. As you know, this is pretty simple, provided that your header columns on your spreadsheet kind of make sense to what you're trying to find over here in BNTouch. I'm not the fastest mapper. Anyways, because I'm trying to talk and walk at the same time, and I'm not too good at that. So let's see, phone number, borrower one cell, and that's all the fields that I have to map. Now the next drop down here is asking you, so if you're in the mortgages database and you're importing into the mortgages database, these are the marketing sequences that you have a choice for putting the spreadsheet of records into. So my spreadsheet is filled with leads, so I'm going to go ahead and put those into the leads. But let's see, duplicate preferences, I don't want to update duplicates. If I have any duplicates, I want it to skip. First row preferences in my case is column names. Now if you didn't have column names over here, if the first row was just borrower data, then you would use that area. So mine had column names. Now this is where if you had not built groups before you went to import your data, you wouldn't be able to put it into a group unless would later have to do that. So because we've built our groups before we've imported, my records are for first-time home buyers. Now here's where that saving map comes into play. If you have several spreadsheets that are going to have the identical type of fields in your or the column headers for your spreadsheet, if every spreadsheet is going to have the same columns and you don't want to have to go through the mapping process every time, save your map, and you can save it as something that makes sense to you so that you can find it in that first screen where it asks you to use the same, a saved map from before. This is asking, do you want to skip the triggers on import? And remember, a trigger is an automated rule that starts a campaign. So if you're importing this data and you don't want these clients to be on any of your campaigns that have triggers on them that would be applicable, then you can skip that if you want. But most times you don't want to skip your triggers. Making the map public. Okay, this means that if you want everybody in your office to be able to use that same map that you saved, you can make it public for others to use. Identifying your records by email. So if you see that there's duplicates based on email address, you can identify that, or you can skip it. If that record is found in another account, you don't want it in this CRM that you're importing to, so you can just skip that. Now this is important. Probably you don't want to check mark skip mapping check, because what that means is up here, if I had used the same field twice, like for instance, if I had done home phone, that would be a problem. And if I check mark that, it would not do the check for me, and it wouldn't say, hey, by the way, did you know that you have the wrong field selected? So let's just make sure that you don't check mark that, because you want it to check for any errors. So let's go ahead and import the selected options now. And as you see, it did bring in one record. That's all that I had in this spreadsheet. So of course I know that that's right. Now if you had a spreadsheet that had 579 records or people that you wanted, clients that you wanted to put into the CRM, and it only said it imported one, well, there would be a problem. So kind of look at that number, make sure that it makes sense to the number that you hoped imported. If you had skipped duplicates and you knew that the numbers weren't quite right because you might have had duplicates, of course that's why the number might not be exact. But anyway, we've now imported our mortgage records, and basically when we come back to the dashboard now, we have all check marks. That means that we've completed our setup. So it wasn't too hard, and we're going to go ahead and click here to the dashboard. Now you will no longer have that setup wizard page. You don't need it. It's completed. So every time you log into BNTouch now, you're going to have your dashboard. And this is what you're going to want to work with. This is what's going to be a lot of fun to work with once you get going on your BNTouch. So now that you know how to set up your BNTouch CRM, you're done. I just wanted to thank you for being here. So have a great day.